Well, g'day everyone, welcome to another episode of HT Monaro build. Episode number 20 I think, starting to rack up a few episodes now. Just wanted to have a chat with you about subscribing to my channel. Not that I'm making any money out of it or anything like that, but it does help with the getting the channel out there so other people can see it when it comes up in their feed. I looked at the demographic of who's watching my channel, and it's all you old bastards around my age, 30, 40, 50 years of age. And I don't know how computer savvy you are, but I can just tell you to subscribe all you need to my knowledge, and I haven't done it for a while, set mine up, but it was just like a Gmail account. So just get a free Gmail email account, and once you've done that, you can link that to your YouTube account. And then you can basically log into YouTube. The benefits of having your own YouTube account is not so much so you can download your own shit like I am, but you can, your news feed will be full of the things you like watching. So the more you watch stuff, YouTube's algorithms then give you more of that stuff. So if you're into four-wheel driving and camping, you'll get a lot of that sort of stuff. So that's a definite benefit. If you're into Monaros or car builds and all that, you'll get a heap of that stuff. So definitely a benefit there, definitely a benefit for you and a benefit for me as it gets more exposure out, the more subscribers I do have. I'm pretty happy, like, you know, I'm only doing this just for fun, you know. I actually like the video editing side of it, just mucking around doing that. I'll do that when I'm at work, so, you know, kill some time. Yeah, so if you could hit the like and subscribe button, get some more subscribers. I've got 700 subscribers now, so it's going good, mate. I'm happy. At the end of the day, it makes it worthwhile for me when you guys comment and like it, and you know, we've got the 700 subscribers. It makes it worthwhile for me because you know, I know people are watching the videos, and you know, some of the comments are that some people are getting something out of it and learning different things. And look, I'm not a mechanic. It is HT Monaro amateur build. I'm pretty mechanically minded. I've worked in workshops before, but I'm not a mechanic. So you know, it's good that people are getting some value out of my the shit that I put on YouTube. So today, what are we going to be doing? Well, I've got the fuel lines and the brake lines done, just the hard lines. I'll do the rest of the stuff. In order for me to get the fuel lines and brake lines done, and the exhaust, now the exhaust will be done a little later on. I have spoken to a guy that's going to be doing the exhaust, and he says to me it's best to have all your everything done, your suspension and all that, which makes sense because I'm lowering the suspension. So he's going to need to know what height the car's going to be at, so that he can make sure there's that 100 mil of ground clearance firstly, and secondly that when he goes up over the diff with the 2.5 inch pipes from the 3-inch. So it's going to be 3-inch out of the collectors. We're going to go, what were the mufflers? Put myself on the spot now. I can't remember the. It might have been aero chambers, I think. I'll look that up and I'll get back to you because I can't remember. No, I don't think it was that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So twin 3-inch system into 2.5 over the diff, and pays to have that lowered suspension in so that he knows how much clearance he's got when he works over the diff. The other thing is also the fuel lines run along there and the brake lines run along there. So let's get everything done so that when when they go to do the brake lines and that, they know what they have to clearance, if you know what I mean. And also, it just makes sense to get it all done now. So what I've done, this fell on the floor, is for the front end, I've got 2-inch drop spindles. I want to get the front lowered a bit. These are Castlemaine Rod Shop. They're stamped with a number. Look, there is some talk that Castlemaines aren't as good as Rod Stub Tech, but look, I'm confident. They're not engineered, but yeah, I feel like I've never heard of people having problems. Do you know what I mean? So these are the Rod Shop 2-inch drop spindles. That'll be for the front. We'll get them in. That'll help me make sure that there's that 100 mil clearance under the muffler when the mufflers are done. I've also bought the Rod Shop gearbox cross member. Nice bit of kit, nice welding. Looks good. The reason why is because I've got a Mel Woods one in there, and mate, it's fucking terrible. It really is terrible. The welding on it, it just doesn't look. It's just bent up. Bit of pipe, it really is shocking, and I don't like the look of it, basically. So that Rod Shop one looks really neat. I'm really pleased with what they've built there. I hope it works. So it's stamped with Turbo 350 or T350 for a HTG, but there's a lot of. I rang them up and they go, no, that should fit the Tramic TKO 600 gearbox I've got. There's a lot of adjustment in it. So hopefully they're right. I've got to go off what they say. So there's that. And then I think I've shown you before, I've got the extra low. I'm pretty sure they're extra low. I can double check that for you off the receipt. But these are MotorFab single mono shocks. Well, not shocks, bloody springs. With Caltrac style bars on it, so they're going to go in. What I thought I'd do is let's take a baseline measure of where everything's at. I'll just get my pen and measuring tape, and I'll write it on the before and the after. I don't know if you heard that. I'll write it on the before and the after. So let's go, where should we go? Probably from the bottom of the wheel to the bottom of the guard there. So where the rubber meets the thing, so let's call that 554. 554 millimeters. We're going to do the other side. So we'll just go from here to the bottom there again, and 553 millimeters. We'll do the front. Let's do basically the same. Let's go from here to there, which is 520. We're going to do the other side. Watch out, Sophie dog. Put you in the cupboard. Right, down here. 5:30 on this side. Righto. So that gives us a baseline measure of the height. And what I want to see is half of that rubber on the top half of the wheel there inside the guard. That'd be good. And on this one, same thing. Half that rubber hidden inside that guard would be good, nice and low. So that'll look cool. So yeah, going to do that, and I'll take you through the process now. What we have to do, let's put that down. What we have to do is we have to grind these rivets or stud heads off, punch them out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I think there's some from underneath. So first of all, before we even do that, we're going to put it on stands and drop the diff. And the old suspension, we'll drop the old leaf springs out. And then on the front, once that's done, put it on axle stands, get underneath, drill out the other studs from underneath if there is any. I believe there probably is. And then I've got some spot weld remover and some spare spot weld blades. So I believe there's a lot of spot welds in there. So once the diff's out of the way, I'll have access to clean it up and have a good look underneath. Get all those bloody spot welds out. Drop that part of the old, this part of the old suspension out, and that fits the floor and just bolts straight in. I'll re-drill those holes to the correct size to these bolts, and then that just bolts straight in. So really it's just drill it out and bolt it in. So that's the plan. As I say, I've got to get the diff out first and the old suspension off, so I'll get it up on the jack and the stands, and I'll start the job. Righto, I've got all the tools I might need. Grinders and drills, and I need to get the drill bits, I suppose. So we've got the bum up off the ground. Right, what are we going to need to do? We need to drop these spring shockies off, and then do we need to actually go to the trouble of, I suppose these are going to come off anyway, but it might be easier if I leave the, oh no, I could probably take them off while they're there, and then I'll look at undoing these and getting these off, both ends, and just drop that diff out. Once the diff's dropped out, yeah, then we can attack this. Yeah, get that out of the way, grind them and drill them out, and yeah, that's what we're going to do. Is under there, these ones here, all them, and then on the inside, and then in the boot like I showed you. So yeah, there's no shackles in there, no rubbers in there, but anyway, we won't be using them. So righto, so I've dropped the shocky off there, and then up here I've taken the hanger off, and I'm about to drop that onto the ground, and then I can basically do the other side and pull that out, I think. So I'll just jack that up just a little bit more. Sorry about my unprofessional camera work. Now, I might just need to get a screwdriver to pull that bushing out. Once I've got that bushing out, I can get that, so just bear with me, I'll do that now. Righto, so I get this bush out. Oh, nearly. Right, and then that, so yeah, you pull this bushing out and then slide that back, then pull this bushing out as far as you can, and then that'll just drop down. So that's pretty easy. Yeah, so what I did was just put that wheel trolley under there. Right, so now I'll work on this side. Righto, got the diff out. Geez, the heavy bastard of a thing. Very heavy. Alright, so that's all done. Now we can set about grinding them off and drilling them out. So I'll get the grinder in there and have a crack at it. Done is I've just ground it off with the, or cut it off with the cutting disc, and then just ground the head off with the grinder, and then we'll just try and maybe a bit more. Righto, that looks better. You can actually see the rivet head. Right, there's one. Right, so there we go. Now I'm just going to cut these ones off, grind them off, and then the spot welds. There's plenty of spot welds, so yeah, I'll just get into it. I'm not going to film all of it because I'll give you progress shots, but you don't want to see all of it. You don't need to. They're all the same. So yeah, that's the theory. How to do it. Righto, cheers. Righto, bit of progress. Got all 6 of those studs out. That's all they are. Look, there's no real, I mean, it's not hard. You've got these ones out on this side. It's not that hard, but you know, you just got to persevere. What I did is I put the cutting disc on the grinder, and I sliced 2 lines in it. And then when I finished with that, I got out the grinder and I basically ground them off. On the left side, you have to get the outside ones from underneath because you can't get in here. But this whole side was quick because you can just get them all from the top there. Now what I've got to do is get underneath with that grinder and clean it up so I can see where the spot welds are. And then once I've cleaned it up with this thing, I'll use a spot weld remover and I'll drill out all the spot welds. Apparently there's a few, so I'll stick with it. We'll smash it out. Got to get this done so we can then bloody take it to the brake shop and the exhaust place and get all that done. So yeah, we'll smash it out. Going all right actually, not too bad. Righto, clean that up with the with that grinder there. Can't get on the inside on the other side, so that's going to be a bit of pain, but there's a spot weld there, there. And that's just that side. I can see a few on this side too. So I'll get drilling. I've got the spot weld bit on that, and I'll get into it. See how easy it is. Alright, this is going pretty good really. What I found is when you have this pointy thing on that slips. So what I did was I just drilled just the center on each of those. I gave that point on that, what do you call it, somewhere to grip to. Now what I'm going to do is just hammer that and see if it comes off. I'd say obviously that needs drilling still, but I'm just going to do it bit by bit and see where I'm at. I think there's another one to do, or another couple there. I'll do them now. You can see I've drilled just the point there. Right everyone, yeah, I've got this left one off. I've chewed it up a bit. It was a mission of a job. Those first few where it's all bent up, you got to sort of get them, and then yeah, the spot, it was just a prick of a job. So I need to get under there and give that a tidy up, and then I'll spray that. I'll clean that down, spray it. So just got to do this side now. Just went and bought that fitting so I can grind that paint off along there with the drill, and then I'll be able to see where the spot welds are, and then drill them with the spot weld drill for a start. There's one just there, one there, probably one there. Looks like there's a few. So yeah, one there, another one there. Can't see this side yet. So anyway, I'll have a look, get into that. And then we can paint that today. Then once it's painted tomorrow, I'll fit that new suspension tomorrow, hopefully. So yeah, and then I'll do the front. So yeah, cool, thanks. Oh man, this really is a shit job from underneath. So I've got the spot weld drill. I've center drilled each and every spot weld so this pin on the end doesn't slip. Just with a little drill bit, and then just gotta, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, maybe 14. So yeah, it's just a shit job. I cleaned that up so I could see them. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna get it done whinging to you. Just gonna smash it out. Right, I've had some success here. I just got it off. So I'd only started those forward ones on both sides. And then I've got a hammer and chisel under there. We'll see if that works. Hopefully you'll be able to see. Something like that. So I had the hammer and chisel in there. And then I got the air chisel. And I got them down as far as here. And here. And then after that, I got the claw on the hammer. And I just prized it off. Even though I hadn't undone the spot welds on the back here, with a little bit of, they broke off. So actually had a good win there. I've seen that most people do a little bit of damage there, but that'll be covered. But so yeah, I'll give that a grind up, a clean up, and a paint, and we'll be good to go. I'm actually pretty happy because it's a prick of a job. So yeah, no, that's worked out well. Happy days. There you go. I'll give it a hit with the paint now. Righto, I've cleaned up underneath. I've repainted underneath and here. I've re-drilled these holes. You need to just make them just a little bit bigger so that these fit in. So I've drilled those holes so they fit in now. Did I show you that? Sorry. For these bolts. And I've greased all these shackles with that moly denim, I don't even know how to say that, moly denim disulfide. Against better advice actually, to be honest. I rang up a mate who's a mechanic and I said, what do they grease these things with? And he said he'll find out from his work. Anyway, by that stage I'd already been to the Repco and I googled it, and look, the Google said to use this shit. My mate said not to, but look, I had it, I'm using it. I'll have to keep an eye on it, make sure it looks like it's doing the right job, and maybe re-grease it in the future. Pretty easy, there's no grease nipples or nothing, but it's just pull the bolts out and give them all a good grease. So I've done that. I don't know if I did that side, I've still got to do this side, but I did these three. This, yeah, I'm going to turn it over and just do that one and this one, and then we'll go about looking at fitting it. Right, we'll go and get this other one and work it in. I've greased it all up. Everything's good to go there, so right, so sorry you couldn't see any of that. But you got that side in. I'll go around the other side and line it up. Get the bolt all the way through. And then we do the other side. Tap that bolt in. Julian was right, my mate. This grease is dirty shit. Anyway. Right, so that's done for now. Now it's a matter of getting these other end in. Turn that up a bit. You can see what's going on here. I just found before, if I give this a bit of a touch up with the hammer, it just drives it home. Right. So you can see these. They're there already. That actually went in a lot easier than the other side. The other side wasn't slightly lined up and need a bit of persuasion, but this one seems to have gone pretty well. Right, now we'll just do the other 3, which is pretty easy. Done. Alright, well I won't bore you with this. You get the gifts there. Turn that off. Right, I've got the diff in, had to get the wife to help me, and I'll tell you, it was a mission. Scratched up all the bottom. I'm not real worried about that, we can paint all that again. But yeah, it was a real tight fit, had to pull the drum, break the, the bloody, what do you call it, the sleeve or whatever it is that goes around the outside of the drum, had to pull the drum off. And yeah, it was a bitch, a real bitch. But we just persevered and we got it done. Now I'm just buttoning this up. I've got that, what do you call it, the, I've got the, right, that's a nice fit, thankfully. What am I trying to say? I've got the bump stop on it, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, that's a done thing. I'll just do the shocky. Well, the time has come where I put it down under its bum. So let's have a look at what it looks like lowered. I'm a little bit excited about this, to be honest. Right, I'm a bit excited about this, so let's have a look. Oh yeah, that looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Right, let's get a measurement. I reckon that rubber is up into that guard a bit more. But let's get a measurement. Grab me tape and my texter. Rightio. So, $5.30. $6. 540. 540. So it's gone down a little bit. Maybe I might have thought it might have been a little more than that, but it probably just needs to spell as well. That's gone down now, hasn't it? So that's 503 now. It's gone down substantially. I'll measure this one. $500. So, hopefully you can hear me, but yes, that has lowered it a lot. Look at that now. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, it's gone down 50 mil. 2 inches. It's exactly what it's supposed to, so yeah. I guess the other thing I really need to do is, I'll put the battery in the boot too, is get under there and have a look at how it is, you know. Look, I'll check the clearance. Man, that looks awesome. That is lowered, that's sick. That is looking really low. Yeah. So let's get under there and have a look at the clearance as if we can fit. It's a tight. She's low. Bloody low, alright. Crikey. Yeah. I don't reckon there'd be 100 mil in that bloody, that bar over there. Have a look inside the wheel arch. How's that looking? Look good. Plenty of room in there. What about the inside? Yeah, plenty of room inside, mate. That's a good fit. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned about is just that bar. That's not 100 mil. It'll be close, but it's not. The bump stops are good. I'll leave them full length. That's a good height. So anyway, quite happy with that. Just want to grab that tape again. Sorry for this. Just want to grab that tape and measure that. No, it's not 100 mil. That's only 75 mil. Pretty low, isn't it? I don't even know how to adjust these. What's supposed to happen there? That goes just to there or something, does it? I suppose. Pretty low. Yeah, so that front one's only 75mm of clearance there, but yeah, is what it is. Alright, now a bit of lower the front. Well, I've got all the tools here, I might as well do that, but gee whiz, that looks bloody good, doesn't it, hey? That couldn't have worked out any better. I'm pretty stoked with that. That is just awesome. It looks, that's the right height. That's mint. That's very tough. So yeah, sweet. Happy days. Alright, well, I've just ripped into pulling this apart and didn't really do any filming, so yeah, just basically pulled this bloody, I can't remember what they're called, to be honest with you, but the steering thing goes in there, so that bolt's there. Rip that off, rip the calipers off, 2 bolts. Just about to rip the, I've done the undone the ball joints, top and bottom, and just about to pull the hub off, and then very quick matter of bolting it all, if it goes right, bolting it all back together. So yeah, just getting a few things done there, I guess. Getting too old to climb up and down off cars. I don't know how these blokes do it for a living, I tell you. Oh, must be getting old. We'll have to shut that roller off if we're going to get wet. Right. Sweet. Pretty easy to do that. Okie dokie. As far as the springs goes, I'm just going to keep those springs in there for now, and scope it out. See how it goes. So they just go there. Righto, getting there. I've done the other side. I'm just in the process of doing this side. I've pulled the hub off, pulled the brakes off. Just got to do the upper and lower ball joint, pulled the steering arm off. Whack the new one in now. Castlemaine Rod Shop, 2-inch drop spindles are left and right. I didn't know that. I put the wrong one on the wrong side, and I just could not yesterday get the caliper to bolt up. It was pissing me off. I couldn't work it out. I thought I had to ring them to find out what's going on. And then I watched a few videos last night. Like I packed the shits yesterday and put it all away. Put on some videos last night and noticed, you know, something that I thought, well, hang on, that might mean that they're left and right, because it was Commodore one side and HQ the other side or something like that. Anyway, I took that other side off, the left side off, and swapped the 2-inch Castlemaine spindles, and guess what? They fit. You do have to put a spacer on the steering arm bracket that goes on the back of the hub, which they don't supply and they don't say anything, but yeah, easy enough. I'll work that out. It's all right. Putting this bigger washer here on that area there before you put these on. So yeah, just boxing away with this. It's a quick job really. I thought it was going to be done and dusted, but yeah, that pissed me off yesterday. But anyway, I'll keep going with this. I'll pull it off and then get a hold of his and show you where I'm at. But so far so good. Just a quick job. Finally put split washers on the ball joints on the other side. So yeah, going all right. I'll get back to you shortly. Righto, just putting the brakes back on. That's the spacer for the steering arm. All the lock nuts are on. This side the brakes are going on real easy. Just the other side was just slightly out. Well, not slightly, it was like, well, look, just it was a very tight fit for the bolts, but yeah, no, all good. Righto, the moment of truth. Let's get it down. I'll go and do the other side. To me, it's not looking huge. It's pretty low there now. Oh yeah. Fuck, that's heaps low. Is that even going to clear? Wow. Whew. That's too low. But that's too low. It's ridiculously low. But good news, there's good and bad. Good news is I've got a little bit of work ahead of me. No, the bad news is I've got some work ahead of me. The good news is I've got super low cut down springs, and I didn't realise they would have such a dramatic effect. So what I need is the standard springs now. I wonder if these are standard springs. I can't remember where these springs come from, to be honest. So the good news is they look like they've got a part number on them. Let's have a look what the part number comes out at. I might need to buy, because I don't think I've got the standard springs. I might have them. I might be in the shed, the original springs. Oh, look. They're the original springs. these should be original height, original springs, V8 Holden springs, so this will fix that. I kind of suspected it might be, I might have an issue, but I just didn't realise they were going to be that low. That's crazy, isn't it? There's no clearance under there whatsoever. Righto, so what I'll do is obviously these aren't, well, they could be. I'll get a Google of that part number, eh? Because they look about the same height as that, don't they? Just about, a bit more solid. So I don't know where these come from. Anyway, what I'm going to do is get my phone, do a search on that part number here, and see if I can work out what these ones are. That's SL, so is that super low? I don't know. I'll go and get my thing and we'll have a look. I'll get back to you. Right, well, the interesting thing about these blue springs there is they're levels super low for a Falcon. So I'm buggered if I know how I got a hold of them or what the go is there. They don't seem to be cross-reference and be able to go on my car at all. So I don't know what the go is there. I don't even know where they turned up. But what I'll do is I'll just, for the fun of it, might as well do a measurement. 470. The other side. Other side, that wheel's slightly turned, and I think that's just about hitting on the guard. It's 490. Probably 490 because that wheel's turned a bit. And it's sitting on the guard by the looks of it, so I better get that up. Oh. So that's dropped that very 520. Remembering that 520 is that was lowered with cut coils, so realistically it should be higher than that anyway. But I just wasn't happy with the ride height. I was hoping to get something a little bit lower, but that's way too low. I'll show you this side. That's actually sitting on there, so we need to get that up. Right, I'll turn the camera off, change those coils over, give these probably a little paint of black while I'm working, and yeah, we'll go from there. Righto, cheers. Righto gang, I'm in the shed. I gave them a sand down, just with the old 80 grit, and paint up with the hammer tone finish. And in the meantime, while they're drying, I'll get the car up and rip those old ones out. I think you only need to undo the steering arm and the top ball joint or something. I'll work it out. It's not that bad, but yeah. Righto, let's get into it. Cheers. Well, I found the problem. There's a height difference. And that was just cut by a reputable shop too. See the end there, it's just been cut in Perth. So they're about the same diameter, and if I just quickly go and get that other one that somehow made it into my collection, think this is a bit wider, so that tells me that I definitely can't use that one. I just can't think of where I got it from because I've never owned Fords and stuff. So yeah, they're much bigger, aren't they? You can see that. So they're certainly not going to go on. But these ones are. So, yeah, no problem. That's good. They're still drying. I'm going to let that paint dry for a little bit more. And I'm going to take the other side out, which is like a 10-minute job really. There's not much to it. You take these things off the bottom, you undo the shocky from the top, you undo the shocky from the bottom, take the steering arm off, and the whole thing drops out. And that's about the extent of it. So pretty easy really. So I'll go and do the other side, and yeah. Well, groovers, this is what we ended up with. I reckon that looks pretty cool. The other, when it was really low, it probably was better, but, well, looks wise, but, you know, it just wasn't practical. So, that's with the factory V8 springs, standard height V8 springs, unlowered drop studs, and that's the proper way to do it. So, it is what it is, and yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy with that. That looks alright. Show the other side. So it's just a tad lower than when I had, look it out in the light a bit. It's just a tad bit lower than when I had those really short cut down springs and standard stubs. So yeah, just a little bit, 10 or 20 centimeters in it. So yeah, it's lowered it a little bit with those drop studs, but it's at least it's going to handle properly now too. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Looks pretty cool. So yeah, cool. Thanks. Right, just doing another little job. The tail lights, they were only sitting in there before. So I need to pull these off and put a new rubber in there. And about I think there was 3 on this one and 1 on this one. Studs missing, so I stole the studs off these ones, off this one. There's some old tail lights I had. I think they're the original ones actually, and we'll be able to fit the tail lights. I just I've got. I didn't tell you, but tomorrow we're going to the brake shop to get the brakes done. So I don't want the tail lights falling out, so I thought I'd better bloody put them in properly. So we're in the process of doing that. Let's get this rubber in. This is just a rare spares rubber. Actually fits pretty good. And I was missing a whole heap of the nuts and whatever, but luckily I've got a little collection of nuts and bolts and stuff, so I was able to get the ones I need. So the bigger ones are for the to mount it to the body, and the smaller for they're the ones that mount it to the mount the backing plate. So that was a good win. Had exactly what I needed. Righto, here's the finished product. Pretty stoked with it, to be honest. Looks good with the suspension. Right, another good bit of news I've got is I've had the fuel lines done. So this is them here, 1/2-inch fuel lines, all the way underneath, and they pop up in the boot here. There, supply and return. So they're in, the 1/2-inch lines are done. However, I did run into a bit of a problem. This is the part of the inner guard. Now you might want to know what's going on there. Let me tell you. What's happened is I've had to cut a piece out of the inner guard. See that piece that I showed you in the boot? That's been cut out from there. Reason being, let me pull the camera out. Reason being is because when they went to bleed it, it's all bled up and ready to go now. That's the, talking about the brake lines now, not the fuel lines. When they went to bleed it, they had a leak in there, and there's no, because of the hidden brake booster under the guard, there's no nowhere for them to access it. So realistically, it's done me a bit of a favour. It, as much as it's a pain, it does need, yeah, we really should have access to that. So I've cut that piece out. Just let me clean the camera. So I've cut that piece out, and I've got another inner guard, and we're going to transform that that piece that I just showed you onto a new, to the new inner guard, make it about 1 centimetre or so bigger around the perimeter, and then it'll be bent in the right shape and everything because it's factory. And then what we'll do is we'll bloody just tack screw it, or not tack screw it, sorry, pop rivet it or something like that. And that way, and just paint it black again, put a bit of sealant around it that can be removed. And that way, if we ever need to, what do you call it, bloody, get that guard up, we get inside to access to that brake booster, we can just pop that inspection plate off. So that's what I'm going to call it, an inspection plate. I don't see it as a big issue. It hasn't really set me back. It hasn't upset me that much, so we're all good there. I'll try and show you these lines that I've got going on. So they're all done, and they go under the car here. Now let me get underneath. So here's the fuel lines and the brake lines. Now the fuel lines are underneath the car. You can see that all the way. Don't know how well we can see that, and I'm hoping you can see that okay. They're all nicely mounted all the way to the end there. The brake lines go inside the cabin, and then the brake lines, they pop out just here, the brake line, and then that there goes to the over the diff and all that sort of stuff. So let's see if I can take out the back. Can't really see those brake lines from where I am, but they're over the top of the diff. Let's have a look. Oh. The fuel lines. The brake lines are up there somewhere. So that's all done to each and every brake. That's good. Brake lines. So that all looks good. So making progress there with the brake and fuel lines. Sorry about the filming. So I'm quite happy with that. Drop me sunnies. So I'm quite happy with that. So I did have some better footage to show you of the brake and fuel lines and all that getting done and whatever, but the card corrupted. So I lost all that footage, which is very unfortunate for me, a bit of a piss off. So that's why I've just given you that quick rundown. But next episode I'll give you a bit of a rundown. We might even work on the brake lines next episode, get it done properly. So next episode I'll get all that better footage of the brakes and the fuel lines and all that. There's only a little bit there, so it's not a great loss. But look, that's the end of episode 20. So thanks for watching. Appreciate your support. Plenty of people still subscribing, which is good for me. And I look forward to getting the next one out. Actually, look forward to getting it finished. But look, thanks very much for watching. And just remember to hit that like and subscribe. And get yourself a YouTube account, you old buggers. You'll find it's better for yourself in relation to what I was talking about earlier. You'll find you'll get better content in your newsfeed, stuff that you can keep watching. Like if I watch camp and stuff and all that sort of stuff, I keeps getting camping videos put on me feed, which is great. So you're watching the car build stuff, you'll get plenty of car build stuff come into your feed. So make sure you get an account. It's pretty easy to sort it out, set it up. Then you'll get the notifications when I put a new episode out as well. And you'll have plenty of good footage to watch, hopefully. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Till then, peace. Cheers out.